In a high-stakes showdown, China's export restrictions on rare earths critical for weapons, tech, and green energy have ignited a fierce trade war with the U.S. As Beijing tightens its grip on the global supply, President Trump pushes bold moves to secure America's future. From Greenland to Moscow, the race is on to break China's dominance. Welcome to the escalating U.S.-China rare earth battle, where strategy meets survival. On April 4th, as expected, in a comprehensive response to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff measures, China's Ministry of Commerce, in coordination with the General Administration of Customs, issued an announcement imposing export restrictions on 7 rare earth elements, thereby squeezing the supply of rare earths used in manufacturing weapons, electronics, and a wide range of consumer goods to the West. Beijing had previously hinted at the possibility of such a move, but this latest action has further escalated trade tensions between the world's 2 largest economies, prompting American manufacturers to scramble for new supplies of critical minerals they have relied on for decades. Meanwhile, a clip of Victor Gao, Deputy Director of the Center for China and Globalization, CCG, speaking to Western media has gone viral on Chinese social media, with official Chinese channels reposting it with the hashtag, "You think we're scared, but we actually don't care."
We don't care. We don't care.
China is currently the world's largest producer of rare earth elements, according to the U.S. Geological Survey and other authoritative institutions. In 2023, China produced approximately 240,000 tons of rare earth oxides, accounting for about 80% of global production. Moreover, China not only dominates mining but also controls the vast majority of rare earth refining and separation capacity, with around 85%-90% of global rare earth refining taking place in China. China is also the world's largest exporter of rare earths. Data from the U.S. Geological Survey shows that in 2024, China's rare earth production accounted for nearly 70% of the global total, and from 2020 to 2023, the U.S. imported 70% of its rare earths from China. According to CCTV Finance on December 23, 2021, China Rare Earth Group Co. Ltd. was officially established in Ganzhou, Jiangxi Province. The state-owned enterprise, directly supervised by the State-Owned Asset Supervision and Administration Commission of the State Council, was formed by merging China Aluminum Group, China Minmetals Group, and Ganzhou Rare Earth Group to leverage complementary rare earth resources and promote industrial synergy. The group also includes 2 rare earth technology research companies, China Iron and Steel Research Institute and China Research Institute of Science and Technology, to form a large-scale rare earth enterprise group. Reports indicate that the group's integrated operations and intensive development will facilitate in-depth research into the fundamental properties of rare earths, increase RMP, de-investment, and enhance the value added of rare earth end products, providing technical support for the high-quality development of the rare earth industry. The Wall Street Journal previously reported that amid escalating U.S.-China tensions, China approved the creation of one of the world's largest rare earth companies to strengthen its dominance in the global supply chain of strategic metals. China's rare earths are widely used in defense, electric vehicles, energy, and electronics industries. Currently, the U.S. has only one operational rare earth mine, with the majority of its supply coming from China. Analysts note that the export restrictions cover not only raw minerals, but also permanent magnets and other difficult-to-replace finished products. This move will affect exports to all countries, not just the U.S., marking the latest instance of China weaponizing its dominance in the mining and processing of critical minerals. Companies such as Lockheed Martin, Tesla, and Apple are among the U.S. firms that rely on Chinese rare earths in their supply chains. Mel Sanderson, a director at American Rare Earths, stated, "China has strategically selected this list. His company is developing a rare earth mine in Wyoming, expected to begin production in 2029. Sanderson is also co-chair of the Critical Minerals Institute Trade Group. They've chosen something vital to the U.S. economy." While the export controls are not an outright ban, Beijing can limit exports by restricting the number of export licenses issued. The Trump administration has long been aware of this issue. In January, just before the start of his second term, Trump sent his eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., and to Greenland under the guise of a private trip. In late March, Trump dispatched Vice President Vance and his wife to Greenland, with one of the primary objectives being to address the rare earth issue. Furthermore, on March 20th, President Trump signed an executive order titled "Immediate Actions to Increase Domestic Mineral Production," invoking emergency powers under the Defense Production Act to bypass numerous regulations and permitting processes, aiming to accelerate the extraction of critical minerals in the U.S. The order sidestepped decades of bureaucratic inertia and green regulations, launching a wartime-level emergency effort to secure the supply chain for critical resources, including rare earths essential to U.S. security, and to break free from heavy reliance on foreign adversaries, primarily China, for critical rare earths needed for everything from smartphones to fighter jets. The Trump administration's efforts in this area have been moving forward at full speed. Elon Musk recently made a rare comment on the matter, stating, "Important to note that what matters is the ability to refine rare earth elements, which are not actually meaningfully rare, and manufacture magnets for use in electric motors." People understandably tend to think that rare earth mineral deposits are what's scarce given the name. That is false. They're everywhere. As with lithium, what China has that others lack is the heavy industry of refining the minerals. According to data from Chinese financial media, as a giant in the rare earth industry, China Rare Earth Group holds relatively abundant medium and heavy rare earth resources. For 2024, the national quota for medium and heavy rare earth mining was set at 19,150 tons, all allocated to China Rare Earth Group. Guangsheng Nonferrous Metals, a subsidiary of China Rare Earth Group, controls medium and heavy rare earth resources in Guangdong Province. According to its 2024 annual report, Guangdong has rich reserves of medium and heavy rare earths, with the company owning multiple mines such as Renju and Wufeng, boasting nearly 120,000 tons of rare earth reserves. China's rare earth resources exhibit a pattern of light in the north, heavy in the south. While the Baiyun Ebo rare earth mine, operated by Baotou Steel Group in northern China, is primarily known for light rare earths, its high overall rare earth content and vast reserves mean that its absolute reserves of medium and heavy rare earths are also significant. It is reported that Baiyun Ebo holds the world's largest light rare earth reserves, while its medium and heavy rare earths, accounting for 2% of the total, amount to approximately 6.6 million tons, surpassing the combined reserves of the 7 southern provinces. As one of China's most important rare earth companies, Northern Rare Earth, while primarily focused on light rare earth products, is actively planning to build and improve production lines for medium and heavy rare earth metals and alloys. In 2022, Northern Rare Earth established an experimental production line for medium and heavy rare earth products, and it now has the capacity for large-scale production of such materials. In other words, China has long dominated the complex and highly polluting rare earth refining process and tightly controls production through strict quotas. For the U.S., to break this monopoly in the short term is no easy task. However, there are still many positive signs indicating that such a possibility exists, one of which, surprisingly, comes from Moscow. On February 24th, Russian President Vladimir Putin, speaking at a conference on the development of Russia's rare earth industry, expressed Russia's willingness to cooperate with the U.S. in the rare earth sector. Specific proposals included joint rare earth development. Russia is open to U.S. participation in the exploration and development of its abundant rare earth deposits, not only in Russia proper but also in Russian-controlled new territories such as Donbass, supplying the U.S. market. Putin proposed that Russia could supply rare earth products to the U.S. domestic market and even mentioned the possibility of exporting 2 million tons of aluminum as part of broader economic cooperation. Putin emphasized that such cooperation would extend beyond government levels to include American businesses, aiming to boost Russia's rare earth production and strengthen economic ties between the two nations. He also suggested that Russia and the U.S. could agree to cut military spending by 50% as part of broader cooperation. Putin claimed that Russia's rare earth reserves far exceed Ukraine's by an order of magnitude. According to public data, Russia's proven rare earth reserves are approximately 21 million tons in rare earth oxide equivalent. Global rare earth reserves are estimated at about 120 million tons, based on data from the U.S. Geological Survey and other institutions, meaning Russia's reserves account for roughly 17.5% of the global total. This is indeed significantly higher than Ukraine's reserves of about 500,000 tons, or just 0.4% of the global total. Russia's main rare earth deposits are concentrated in the following key areas. Lovozerskoye deposit in Murmansk Oblast. This is Russia's primary rare earth production site, located on the Kola Peninsula in northwestern Russia. The deposit produces ore containing light rare earth elements such as lanthanum, cerium, and praseodymium, primarily in the form of laperite. Operated by Lovozersky Gok, this site accounts for nearly all of Russia's rare earth production. Tomtorskoye deposit in Yakutia, located in the Sakha Republic, Yakutia, in Russia's far east. This is a large, undeveloped rare earth deposit considered one of Russia's most promising. The deposit contains not only rare earths but also associated critical materials like niobium. On February 24, 2025, President Donald Trump, speaking from the Oval Office, said he was engaged in serious discussions with Russia regarding economic development deals, specifically highlighting Russia's massive rare earth reserves as a point of focus. He framed such deals as potentially contributing to world peace and lasting peace, suggesting that economic cooperation could align with broader geopolitical goals, such as quickly ending the war in Ukraine. Trump expressed confidence that Putin was willing to negotiate, stating, "I truly believe he wants to make a deal," while acknowledging that he could be mistaken. Notably, on April 12th, Putin met with Trump's diplomatic envoy, Steve Witkoff, in Moscow. The Kremlin confirmed that the meeting focused on efforts to achieve a ceasefire in Ukraine and arrangements for a potential meeting with President Trump. According to the latest statement from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, Trump's diplomatic team is currently arranging a trip to Saudi Arabia. Who he will meet and what they will discuss, perhaps Putin, remains highly anticipated. When asked whether the administration was waiting for China to make the first move, Leavitt declined to comment on ongoing or potential communications, leaving the matter to the national security team for further discussion. For transparency, updates will be provided in the future. The president has made it clear that he is open to deals with China. Leavitt stated,
"If China continues to retaliate, it's not good for China. The United States of America is the strongest, best economy in the world, as evidenced by the more than 75 countries who have called the administration immediately to cut good deals."
President Trump posted, emphasizing, "Nobody is getting off the hook for the unfair trade balances and non-monetary tariff barriers that other countries have used against us, especially not China, which by far treats us the worst." There was no tariff exception announced on Friday. These products are subject to the existing 20% fentanyl tariffs, and they are just moving to a different tariff bucket. The fake news knows this, but refuses to report it. We are taking a look at semiconductors and the whole electronic supply chain in the upcoming national security tariff investigations. What has been exposed is that we need to make products in the United States and that we will not be held hostage by other countries, especially hostile trading nations like China, which will do everything within its power to disrespect the American people. We also cannot let them continue to abuse us on trade like they have for decades. Those days are over. Will the U.S. and China ultimately sit down to negotiate? Will the U.S. break through China's rare earth embargo? What are your thoughts? Feel free to leave a comment and share your unique opinions and suggestions. Thanks for you watching, and we'll see you next time.